Folks, because it is my, another one of my old chestnuts is, of course, the misinformation about Social Security. Alan Simpson of the Simpson-Bowles letter, you'll remember there was no commission report. The commission report never reached the level of being official because it needed 14 out of its 18 commissioners to sign off on it. They didn't. So there was never an official report, just the Simpson-Bowles letter, just two old anti-Social Security guys writing a letter about how Social Security should be cut. Of course, old Grandpa Simpson has been out there calling people who get Social Security teat suckers and greedy old windbags or something like that. So apparently, I guess it was, I think this is from the LA Times, maybe the, had challenged Simpson on all his misstatements. And Simpson sent an email responding to a series of posts that the LA Times did criticizing Simpson's, what they say, error-rich take on the nation's preeminent social insurance program. Michael Hiltzik writes, responding to all of Simpson's assertions would take a tome. It's like a big, big series of books. So we'll simply address two of his main points, that Social Security was never designed, quote, as a retirement system, and that the original bill's drafters deliberately set the retirement age at 65 because life expectancy in 1935 at the time of enactment was 63. In other words, Simpson says it was designed from its inception as a ripoff. He issues the following challenge to the LA Times. When you find the word, quote, retirement in your vast research, I'm going to do it in my Simpson sort of old man, either uttered by Labor Secretary Francis Perkins or Edwin Whitty, the head of the Committee on Economic Security appointed by Roosevelt in 1934, please share it with me. And the Times obliges. In which testimony before the House and Ways and Means Committee on January 21st, 1935, he said, referring to the Social Security bill, the annuities payable under the section contemplate an annuity on retirement at the age of 65 or over. Before the Senate Finance Committee on January 30th, Whitty describes, described benefits as being, quote, based on the record of prior contributions when retirement age is reached. The report on the economic security, the foundation stone of congressional debate, defined Social Security's retirement component head-on to meet the problem of security for the aged. We suggest annuities all to be applicable on retirement. The record is replete with references by Perkins, Whitty, and the senators' representatives to old age pensions. And the Times asked, could Simpson really not recognize an old age pension as an essential and defining component of our retirement system? Remember, Alan Simpson is an old coot, and he really hates it that 60% of Americans rely on Social Security for over 50% of their income in retirement, 40% over 80% of their income. And then there's this old chestnut about life expectancy. I've discussed this many times before. It bears repeating, so you never forget it. In his email, Simpson again misinterprets life expectancy statistics and their bearing on Social Security. To set the record once again straight, says the LA Times, the life expectancy at birth was 63 years in 1930s, or at least 1939 to 41. It was 63.62. Longevity at birth is highly sensitive, according to the LA Times and any statistician, to infant and youth mortality rates and is not relevant to the fiscal health of Social Security or to the program's original features. Why? Because if you die at birth, or you die at age 10, or you die at age 7, or you die at age 15, you are not involved in the Social Security program. You don't pay into it. you'll never take out of it. So the LA Times reminds us that it's life expectancy at age of 65. That's the most important longevity factor for Social Security because it defines the lengths of one's retirement and therefore one's lifetime as a Social Security recipient. And I would add, as someone who pays into Social Security. In 1939 and 41, those who were already 65 had an average life expectancy of 77.8 to grow to 77 years, let's call it 78 years. For all Americans, that average has risen by a little over 5 years in a span of 7 decades. But those gains are not distributed equally. Black males, for instance, have gained only about 2 years of life expectancy from 65 in the same period. Anybody in the bottom half of the income distribution has gotten virtually no gains in life expectancy. The life expectancy has come on the upper end. And if you really want to means test, then simply raise the cap. End of story. We never have to discuss it again. And really, after 70 years as a society, are we really going to penalize people for having an extra year or two of retirement without living in poverty? It's absurd. It's absurd. The notion is absurd. Yet, relatively speaking, how much larger is our defense expenditures relative to the rest of the world? By a factor of what?